Hello and welcome to another video on successful revision. This one is about how to plan your revision using personal learning checklists and other resources so you can make the most of your time to get the maximum benefit. So you've got your revision planner with all your subjects on the different days and how long you're going to be spending on them. But then what do you do? Well, as I've said in a previous video, you've got to be much more specific about what you revise. It's not just good enough to know the subject, you've got to know what topic are you going to do on this occasion and what are you particularly going to focus on. Because in these 20 to 30 minute slots, you're not going to be able to revise the whole of a topic. So what do? How do you decide? Now you need to be able to plan this so you can stop procrastinating and time wasting. Again, it's one of those, right, I'm going to sit down with this subject. What am I going to do? You flick through your book and because you recognize it, it feels all warm and cuddly. You think, no, I know that. No, I know that. No, I know that. It's absolutely fine. And you end up spending 20 minutes thinking, I've done loads of revision because I flicked through a book, but it won't have worked. You've got to start with your weaknesses, which are your areas that you're not very good at, because working on these will see the biggest improvements, and that's really important. So one of the easiest and perhaps one of the most effective ways of working out your weakest areas are using personal learning checklists. There are many of these available. Some of them are in textbooks or revision guides. You can get them online. Your teachers may have done them for you, or you may be able to get paper copies. And these are just the specification from the exam broken down, and then you just tick how confident you feel with them. Some of them may have numbers to them, or some of them may use the RAG, red, amber, green, or rubbish, all right, and great. And you just read through each different section and then just decide how confident you are on them. And just by doing this, you're starting a bit of retrieval by trying to think, well, what do I know about that? You can then highlight those areas which you're least confident on, and those will be the areas that you revise first, and it will allow you to formulate a really good plan. So as soon as you sit down to do your revision, you know exactly what you're going to focus on. And this is also good for your well-being and mindfulness, because when you've done it, you can see an actual improvement. You can tick that off thinking, you know what, I didn't get that before, but now I do. Therefore, this revision has worked, and it helps to motivate you and keep you going. So if you've asked your teacher and they don't have any PLCs or you can't find any online, another way is to be able to download the exam specification, which should be dead easy to do. And you can just get your highlighter pen and you can just read through it. And you can think, right, well, this first section, I know that really well, so I'm going to colour that bit in green. You might think the next bit, oh, I'm not too sure about that. And on this final bit, I've got no idea about that whatsoever. Once you've done that, it takes half an hour or so to do all of that for the course. Then when you come to revise, you just simply look and you see the red stuff. Then when you've revised it, you come back to it and you think, right, how confident I am now? Well, yeah, I've got it. And you colour it in a different colour. And again, it's great because you can see that improvement. It's there in front of you. So as you look back on it, you can see that this revision is doing some good. Now, this may surprise you, but your teachers actually know some stuff, and they will actually know some stuff about you. So you can use maybe some of the old tests that you've done, old assessments, and look back over them. What did you do well in? What did you do badly in? And that can form a focus for your revision. You might look at what the teachers have written in their feedback, because you are supposed to read that, even though most of you don't and do nothing with it. But now's the time to start looking at that, and you can start to draw up a plan. Or even you could ask them. As long as you do it politely and at a convenient time, not when they're in the middle of explaining some very important point. But they will love to help you if you ask for that help and you do it in the right way and at the right time. And that will really help you again formulate your decent revision plan. So you want another way, I hear you say? Well, there are plenty of different activities and apps online that you can use. using Quizlet. You can sign up to lots of different courses, the same with Bite Size and Seneca, and you can actually search by the specific course and the specific specification or exam board. And they will offer you little areas to do very simple, quick tests. And these will help you to understand which of your areas are strong and which are weak. These can also, because they form part of retrieval practice, are also an important part of your revision. Retrieval practice, as I've said before, is so vital, testing your brain and making those connections with your neurons. So use the resources that are out there. You could even create your own quizzes or do them with friends. As you're revising, you set up some questions on one topic, they do another, and you can share it with each other to help work out your strengths and weaknesses. And failing all of that, you've not listened to a piece of advice that I've suggested to you, and you can't be bothered to ask your teachers or find anything else. Well, if you've got a revision guide, they will have a contents page. And as we did before, taking some highlighters, you can just have a look at some of these different sections and just use your judgment. Yeah, which ones are you happy about? Do you know the main rock types? Do you know igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary? Yeah. Or it may be that as you look through here, you don't know why there are differences in urbanisation in the UK. And there may be some things such as physical processes of river landscapes that you just don't get. But make sure when you're doing this that there are some sections that you may not have learned. There are some optional sections within the course. So, for example, in geography, most people would be colouring glaciers in red, because we've not studied that, because you won't be answering that question on the exam. So do make sure you know the work that you've covered. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are just a few ideas of how you can really improve your time revising. By spending time at the start to create your revision planner, and then by planning what exactly it is you're going to do using the PLCs or the different ways I've suggested, then you can, when you sit down to revise, you can actually have a specific task that you can do. When you've done it, you can tick it off and you can see that it's worked, and that will give you that motivation to keep you going. So thank you very much for giving up your time listening to me again. I hope you found it useful, and good luck with your revision.